Hi guys, can you hear me? How's everyone doing? Nico, Angel Bear, Chris, Grandma Sherry, Layla. Thanks for coming. Or maybe some were here and they left. So I'm waiting on our guest. She's going to call in about 6:05. Hi, Hope. Thanks for coming. I was thinking of you the other day. Um, our guest, hey Sarge, how are you? Been a long time. Um, our guest asked me to do this. She is having a difficult time right now, so she wanted me to do this. And I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to wing it because I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, and I don't know, um, you know, everything about mental illness other than, hey, JFJ, how are you? Um, uh, Other than, just having an experience. I have a family member that has a serious mental illness. Um, and, and I know some people that have it. Um, I know there are people that have mental illness and there's no shame in it, because this is just my opinion, okay? I think just about everybody suffers from some sort of depression in their life, um, whether it be diagnosed with it so they have it all the time, or if it just comes and goes. Um, I'm diagnosed with it. Um, I take medication for it, and there's no shame in my game about it. But yeah, um, this friend is having a difficult time and she asked me to do this, and I said sure. So she's going to be calling in on my phone, um, probably in about 3 minutes. So thank you all for being here. But yeah, I've heard a lot of creators talk about it and that they have it, and or different types. And I just know there's a lot of people that have it. They don't like to talk about it, you know, and I think people should talk about it more. I think it should be more talked about. And I know, we're in the true crime community, but it should still be talked about. I think in the true crime community, things happen sometimes, um, that can cause, I don't know if I want to say how I want to say it, um, that can cause more harm to those that do have it. Did I say that right? Hi, Heather Marie. How are you? Let me find your channel. Um, Let me see here. I got to get on. I found Heather Marie's channel through Chasing Truth. So for you, those of you, oh, I went to, Heather Marie, I'm sorry, my mind is not right tonight. That's another thing I wanted to tell you guys right off the top. I'm not feeling the greatest, so I really am winging this tonight. What's the name of your channel again, Heather Marie? For those of you that are believers, you're going to love her channel. Sorry, guys. She's messaged me wanting to know if I wanted her to go ahead and call. Did you find, is that her channel, Angel Bear? It's your name. That's what I thought, Heather, but it didn't pop up for me. Is that her channel? Angel Bear got it. Thank you, Angel Bear, so much. Thank you. Yes, her channel's really good. Okay. So we have, hello.
Hello.
Okay, so we have Shanda on the line, guys. So everybody welcome Shanda. She can't see the chat because she's on the phone. Hi, Mel.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for coming. Okay. So, Mel, I don't know if, or not Mel, Shanda. I don't know if you were listening, but I was just going through how, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know a lot about mental illness other than, you know, a lot of people, I think almost everybody has some form of depression, uh, are diagnosed with it, or they have it from time to time. And then there's those people that have it and aren't diagnosed. And I think there's people that may have, um, other types of mental illness, and may not be diagnosed as well. So, well, hi, BC. Thanks for coming.
That's for sure.
Thanks for coming, BC. Okay, Shanda. So, I'm gonna let you have the floor.
Okay.
And everybody's saying hello to you, by the way.
All right.
Hi, Crime.
Thank you for listening. Let's see. I'll start. I was diagnosed with depression back when I was a teenager. I went to counseling. Mind you, at the time, my parents didn't have the money to get me the help that I needed. So my grandparents paid for me to go to counseling. So I went to counseling for a while when I was a teenager and then stopped. Then I picked it back up again with a different counselor and went to more counseling. Then I just completely stopped, and I was pretty much handling it on my own by myself without any medication. That's hard to handle it without medication. And I'm sure the ones that are taking medication for it, they don't need to be ashamed either, because that's how they're able to deal with it and cope with it. Now, some of the medications that people are prescribed, it can make their depression worse.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does, please, please, please talk to your doctor. If it makes it worse, go back to your doctor and ask to be put on something else, or lower the dosage or up the dosage or whatever. Go back to the doctor if it's not working for you.
Yes.
And I advise anybody to do that. I mean, and there's a stigma behind depression. I mean, people give people a stigma. Oh, they're crazy, this, that, and the other. No, we're not crazy.
Right.
We just have problems dealing with stuff. People deal with it in different ways.
I know,
but one thing I ask people, don't ever tell somebody that's dealing with depression, if you know that they're dealing with depression, and sometimes people don't know that they are, but don't ever tell somebody just get over it.
Right.
Please. You just, I mean, some depression, you just can't get over it. It doesn't work that, it doesn't work that way. I mean, you can help it. Like there's such a thing called situational depression, and the types of situation that you're in can trigger depression. But don't just throw it out there and say, "Oh, get over it," because you just don't get over it.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need help, don't be afraid to seek help and get the help that you need. Because I'm one that I keep a lot of things inside and they just build up, build up, build up. And you end up exploding. I exploded. Um, that's the best analogy that I can use. Um, Things just build up, build up, and build up, and I just finally broke. And a lot of stuff has to do with things from my past. I didn't quite work through them like I needed to be, because I ran from them. I didn't want to feel the feelings that came with them. I didn't think I could handle feeling the feelings that would come with the things. And people calling me names, it doesn't help either. Because I'm an overthinker and I start overthinking. And I know it shouldn't matter what people think of me, but it does. It bothers me what people think. And I know I need to be a stronger person and not worry about what people think. But I do, because I never want to make anybody mad at me. I never want to make anybody turn and walk away from me and just leave me in the dust, so to speak. Because I do value friendships. I mean, I honestly do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want people just to walk away from me and say, "Oh, you're a worthless cause," just because I deal with depression. I mean, I know I'm not a worthless cause.
No.
I mean, sometimes I think I am, but I know deep down I'm really not. But words, I mean, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Yes, words can be harming.
Yes, that's not always true. I know, you know, growing up, we were taught that. We even may have said that to our kids, but words can hurt.
Yes, they do.
They very much can, and especially if it comes from somebody you care about.
Yeah. And it also hurts too if someone else labels you as something and that's not what you are.
Right.
Because then other people believe what they say about you, unless the people know you. Because people know you and know what type of person you are, they know that you're not that. But the ones that don't know who you are, they can believe what that person says. I mean, I've been accused of being high by a certain person. I've been accused of being a bitch. Okay. I mean, it's like, really, people? You really don't know me. And I was accused of being high by a certain someone just because I asked a question. Because I wanted wanted the right people to get credit because they were showing their videos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just wanted the right people to get the credit for it. And it bothered me because I know I don't do that.
Right.
And if somebody chooses to do that, that's their own choice. I mean, go right ahead. I mean, it doesn't bother me what people do, but don't put me in that realm of things because I don't do that type of stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, I I just don't. And it just be careful what people say. I mean, and it's getting bad on YouTube with the hate. It's getting really bad.
It is.
And I just don't get it. Why go in and attack people?
It is very bad. And that's what I was going to say. Well, that's why I put in my title, or in the description, I said, even in the true crime community. Um, because, um, well, I think whether you have mental illness or not, um, it can be hard on all of us. All of us.
Yeah.
Uh, the way people are treating each other, they have no boundaries. The way they talk to each other, um, and they'll make these videos about each other, and they're hateful, they're mean, um, and um, or for me personally, they'll take a case and they'll just run it to the ground, and um, but yet, in my opinion, these certain cases, and I'm not talking about Delphi in this case, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I think that they're hurtful. Um, they're hurtful and disrespectful, um, to the victim's family and friends. And it's like, can you just stop already?
Yeah.
And I haven't been on YouTube much lately because it's all I see when I click on. And like, one of my most favorite creators in the Summer Wells case, and I'm not talking Chasing Truth, but it's one I would watch every morning. She's doing it, and it's like, my goodness. So sometimes you just have to take a break, and you just have to step back. Um, and but then,
yeah, and if you don't,
all these,
I mean, that can hurt your mental health if you don't take a step back.
Yes, sometimes you've just got to take a break and step back, and um but then, like you were saying, if somebody's being hateful to you, um making accusations to you, um you know then that can be harmful to your mental health.
Yeah. I mean, there was just recently there was a creator that was attacked by somebody, and they were spewing so much hate in their video that they put up. Because I watched part of the video, and I'm like, oh my goodness. What people don't realize is these creators on YouTube, they have personal lives. They have real life things that are going on in their life. And some of them have been threatened and everything else. And it's like, when will it stop? Because they don't deserve it.
Yeah, I've missed a lot, but I know, one of my friends, we go way back, but she's in this chat right now. She has a channel. Um, I know, um, she's dealt with some stuff like that, and there's no reason at all that she should deal with anything like that, because
no, and like you said before, I mean, it burns my biscuits.
She's a good yeah, burns my biscuits. Well, because
I think that should be I think that's an idea for a t-shirt, by the way, for your channel.
Yeah, well, because she's a good person. She's a sweet person. She's very factual. her research is, if she comes on her channel and says something, you can count on it. You can count on it being right.
Mhm.
Um, and there's just no reason that anybody should be, doing any wrong to her. Um, and then there's another person that just came in a few minutes, a little bit ago. I've been watching her getting attacked and stuff, and it's just wrong. That's not what we came, not me anyway, came to true crime for. You know, we came here for victims and awareness, and but yeah, it can be hard on your mental health. And so yeah, and that's when crime made a comment. Uh, on the other hand, you need to know your limits and move away from toxic people.
Yep.
And that's very true.
Yes, it
And
is.
then she said, I have found so many other creators that are healthy for my mental health.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I have some. I have some favorite creators too. The I watch their channels because they're not harmful to my mental health. I mean, they've never called me out or anything for the questions I've asked. I mean, they've never said anything bad to me. But what they don't realize is when they start stirring up stuff, it can be detrimental to a case. I mean, it's just, I mean, and then I worry about things that have been said about me because of my job and where I work at. Because I value my job and I will not say where I work at.
yeah.
But with my job, I'm around high profile people.
Hmm. Yeah. I did want to read this. Let's see, where, because I did look this up, because I wanted to know um, the current state of mental health. It says half of U.S. adults who have a mental illness, nearly 27 million people, are battling mental illness without treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, let's see down here. Is mental health getting worse? Well, I knew the answer to that before I even.
Yeah, before you even looked it up.
But it says mental health conditions are increasing worldwide, mainly because of demographic changes. There has been a 13% rise in mental health conditions. And then it says, and substance abuse disorders in the last decade. Mental health conditions now cause 1 in 5 years lived with disability. Then below are the 5 most common mental health disorders in America and their related symptoms. Anxiety disorders, the most common category of mental health disorders in America, impacts approximately 40 million adults 18 and older. Sorry. Mood disorders, psychotic disorders, dementia, eating disorders. Um, let's see. Um, let's see down here then. Oh, it says women are nearly twice as likely to suffer from major depression than men. However, men and women are equally likely to develop bipolar disorder. While major depression can develop at any age, the average age at onset is the mid 20s.
Hmm.
So, um,
Yeah, the statistics are scary.
yeah.
And law enforcement even have mental health issues.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Law
well,
enforcement has mental health issues.
could you,
Law enforcement personnel have committed suicide or thought about suicide
Oh well,
because
I mean,
because of their job.
yeah, I was getting. I say, can you imagine? I couldn't imagine being in law enforcement, seeing what they have to see. Um, sometimes, or a lot of the time.
No, and I have two books that I'm reading about police suicide and the statistics. Of course, the book was released in 2007, but the statistics is unbelievable. There was more police suicide compared to police being killed on the line of duty. That's frightening.
Yes, it is.
And it's not just police, it's even right down to your first responders as well. I mean, EMTs, firemen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a big
EMTs.
issue that doesn't get talked about very much, and there is such a stigma that comes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think a lot of people don't get the help that they need is because of the stigma that's placed on them or a label.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I know somebody. Well, in my family, you know, um, she just outright refuses to go get help. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, she did. Um, they diagnosed her. She didn't like the diagnosis. She refuses to, she doesn't want to believe she has that diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I try to,
It's scary
I
to be
try to,
diagnosed with something.
it is, but I try to
But
tell her.
at least you know what it is, and you can try to help to fight whatever it is.
Yes, I try to explain that to her. Hey, Gonzo, how are you?
Hi, Gonzo.
We love Gonzo. I love his community post.
I just subscribed to his channel.
A Shanda on the phone, Gonzo. Good, I'm glad.
Better known as Justice Angel.
He says he's doing well.
That's good.
I love his photos though. But yeah, some people are. They are absolutely, when they are diagnosed, they just they don't want to believe they have it. And then, my aunt, she, well, they diagnosed her with everything. I mean, every mental illness you can think of. So
Oh, wow.
I think well, I don't want to say I think I know that she, oh, hi, Moonchild 75. How are you? You must have changed your name. But, uh, so I know they misdiagnosed her,
That,
in the
that's horrible.
in the
And
beginning.
people do get misdiagnosed.
But
And that can be just as bad.
but she does have schizophrenia.
Oh, no.
So she was in a state hospital for a long time, and then she was out for a while, lived in a group home, then with a roommate, a case manager, and all that. She did okay for a while, and then it got to the point, they realized this just can't, it can't be, never can be, and it's really sad, because she would refuse to take her medication.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, so she had to go back to the state hospital eventually, and then Logansport State Hospital is what I'm talking about here in Indiana. Well, they closed. Um,
That's what's happening with a lot of
Yeah, they closed.
hospitals that are for that. They end up closing.
Dana, hello. But they did. They closed down. And yes, Gonzo, Chris is really good at that. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming. But they closed down except for the criminally insane. So, and
And that's sad.
she was the last one though to go. Well, she developed dementia too. So now she's
Oh
in
no.
but she's in a better place. She's in a really good um, nursing home facility on the dementia
Oh, that's good.
side, and they take really good care of her. But like I'm saying, is she is she does go through these once in a while. You know she'll say, "I just want to be normal," and
Mm-hmm.
it's so heartbreaking. She doesn't like taking the medicine. Um, but it has to be. It's you
Yeah.
just have to take your medicine. She and and
And then I'm one that I overthink things, and then I wonder, well, what are people going to think of me now? You know what I mean? Of me talking about having depression and dealing with it. Are they going to still talk to me, or are they going to turn and walk away once they find out that I deal with depression? And I battle with that too, because I mean, right. I'm the type of person that wants friends and to keep friends, and I'm like, I don't want anybody walking away once they find out that I have depression. But another reason why I openly talk about it too is when I was in middle school, I had a second cousin that completed suicide. She was a grade ahead of me in school. And she took some of her brother's pain medicine that he had because he had just had surgery on his knee. And she turned around and took his pain meds and she overdosed because she wanted to die.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Because of a situation that she was going through at home that I didn't find out about until later on. Somebody explained to me why she wanted out so bad. And then she had a brother a few years down the road. He completed suicide. He crawled into a sleeping bag and he shot himself. Mm. So, I mean, and I think also, I mean, depression kind of runs in my family a little bit too. So, I mean, there's the genetic side of it.
Yeah, it does mine too. It does. I mean, and there's quite a few that do not want to admit it. They don't want to go get treated. They don't.
And the thing is, like with me, I don't expect anybody to fix me. They can't fix me. You know what I mean? And I don't expect anybody to fix me. I have to work on fixing myself. But on the other hand, I just need people to listen. If I need to talk, I just need someone to listen, and that's it. I mean, I welcome their advice and stuff like that, but I do not expect anybody to fix me because it's not their job.
Exactly.
And some people might feel like that they need to fix me, and you can't fix me. I can only fix myself. But it's nice to have people in your corner while you're doing that and to listen if you need to talk.
Yes.
Because if you keep things inside, it doesn't work.
No.
At all. I know. I've been there. I've kept a lot of stuff inside. And it doesn't help one bit.
It does not.
It honestly doesn't. And
Nick goes,
it's hard for me to find people to trust to open up to, if that makes sense.
It does.
Because
It
some
does make sense.
people I can open up to really well, and it's fine. And then you're like, and if they say something back to you, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Did I say too much? You know what I mean? Because I don't ever want to say too much that I scare somebody away.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they might not be able to handle it, because especially if you don't understand the ins and outs of depression, it could scare somebody.
Yeah, Angel Bear said to tell you those people are codependent when you look that up and read it. The people you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's
And
just,
Heather Marie said it's hard finding people to trust online. Yes, it is. Heather Marie said, I found that out the hard way. That's very, very true.
it is. It completely is.
Crimes.
Then, especially if they don't, like I said, don't understand depression, and you share something, they come back and say, well, I can't handle that, or whatever. And I don't expect people, like I said, I don't expect people to fix me.
Yeah, sometimes you just need people to listen.
Yeah, I just need people to listen and be like, hey, I'm still going to be your friend anyway, if that makes sense. And I'm one that I'll do a friend check. I call them friend checks. Some of the ones that I talk to online that I've met through YouTube that have channels, I'll message them and ask them if they're doing okay. How are you doing today? And just check on them to make sure that they're doing okay.
Grandma Sherry says, My 3 is a wonderful app for a safety plan for depression and fleeing DV violence. My 3 is what it's called.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, I can see you, Tabby. Did I miss something? Let me see if I missed a comment. Oh, Tabby likes more truth for the missing, Dana. She likes your name too.
And I recently also went to Delphi.
I know you did by
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah, I went to Delphi by myself.
You got more. Um, you're more brave than me.
Um, when I got there wasn't anybody else there, anybody around. I started walking down the trail and I got to the bridge and I stopped and I was like, how am I going to get on the bridge? Like, how am I? So I went to step out on the bridge and then I stepped back. I ended up crawling out onto the bridge a little ways and I turned around and sat down off to the side and sat there for a little bit. And I took a video while I was sitting on the side of the bridge. And I sat there for a while and the wind started picking up. That was another reason why I didn't go ahead and try to walk across the bridge.
I wouldn't walk across that bridge with by
Part
myself or with
of the
anybody.
reason I didn't is one, because of the wind, and two, because I was out there by myself. But a little bit went by and a couple of people walked up They had a kid with them, and they walked up, and she crawled out onto the bridge so she could take pictures, and then she crawled back. And then when they left, she said, "Be safe." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I will." Then I walked back down the trail, and then I went down the trail that was by the Mary Gerard sign. I walked that trail all the way down to the water. Then I decided, well, I'll cross the creek. So, not knowing where people's property lines were, I figured I'd probably be safe in the water because nobody owns like the water. So I walked across the water, and I walked on down to where the bridge was at, to a point to where I could get a picture of the bridge from where I was standing in the water. And then I turned around and walked back the way I came. The water came up to just about below my knees.
Wow.
My socks were wet. The inside of my boots were wet because I had cowboy boots on. And the inside of my boots were wet.
What was the temperature that day?
It was like in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
I got there around 10:30 in the morning because it takes about an hour and 51 minutes to get there from where I live at. And it was sunny that day.
Mm-hmm.
The sun was shining.
Yeah, I could tell from the pictures.
Yeah, but I actually had an overwhelming sense of peace. I wasn't afraid. I didn't feel like I needed to hurry up and get out of there. But then later, after I had posted that I went there by myself, and before I left, I saw on the sign that's near the trail, it says, "Do not walk the trail alone."
Oh, there's a sign out there that says that now. I haven't been there for quite a long time.
Yeah, there's it just has like rules of the trail or whatever. And the first one is like, don't walk the trail alone.
Wow.
Because I didn't pay attention to it when I walked to it, but when I was walking back, I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. And when I left there, I accidentally went past the Mears farm twice. Grandma, I went past it once and had to turn around, so I had to go past it a second time.
Grandma Sherry says, "Aw, Abby and Libby were with you."
Yeah.
I've been out there a ton of times, but I've never been by myself.
Well, I had asked. I asked for somebody to go with me, and I didn't have any takers, so I just went by myself.
Hmm.
And then when I had posted that I went, a couple people got a hold of me and said, "Don't ever go there alone again. If you do, have something with you."
Yeah, I think I messaged. I think I said, I can't remember what I said to you. I think I said you shouldn't have went by yourself, or please don't do that again, or something.
Yeah. But hey, if nobody offers to go with you, you do what you got to do.
I guess. I haven't been out there for a long time. I haven't went to any of the walks. I just think this is just my opinion on the walks. I think one walk, the memorial walk in remembrance of the girls, I think that's all that should be done. I think all these different walks throughout the year are just too much, and it is disrespectful to You know,
I do want to say that both of the memorials that they have there, they are kept up nice.
yeah, I saw that with the pictures.
Yeah, they're kept up nice. I mean, they're not overgrown with weeds or anything like that. They're being taken care of. And people leave them alone.
That's nice.
They don't mess with them because I encountered around 13 people while I was there before I left. And I couldn't even tell you what they were wearing.
Well,
And I mean, I know a couple had a dog with them, but anything what they had on or anything like that, I couldn't remember that. So I don't see how people expect other people to remember precisely who or what they encountered that day.
right, right.
You can't.
But what I was getting ready to say is that I know it's a public place, but you know, Anna has asked that, you know, I just think they have, I don't know how many they're having a year now, but I know one year they had what, three, I don't know. And they just kind of hang out there, take their chairs out there, have it just looks like they're having like a party out there, you know.
Yeah, I see what I totally understand what you mean by that.
And
The reason
they've
I went
disrespected it.
personally.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm
Yeah.
I just think Anna's been so disrespected so much, you know, by that, and then you know who going and filming the grave, and
Oh, yeah.
um, you know, I think they should just do the one walk, but that's just my opinion. You know, I can't
Yeah.
tell people
That
what
was
to
just,
do.
I mean, that was just wrong going to the gravesite because if you're not family, because that's a sacred place. And you shouldn't put something like that out in public where they're at. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And the reason why I went is I wanted to get a better layout of the terrain.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw all the videos online, but seeing it online, it doesn't really give you, what word am I trying to say that I'm not going to be disrespectful?
My bird's kicking in now.
It doesn't give you the true layout of the land unless you see it for yourself.
That's very, very true. That is.
Does that make sense? And I hope I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all to the family because I'm not that type of person. But I wanted to see the terrain for myself to see what it actually looked like there. I mean, it's really pretty there.
It is. It is.
It's beautiful, and it's sad that something so evil happened there.
I know.
Because the scenery is really pretty. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, I don't think it'll ever make sense.
No, I just pray that it's solved soon.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I mean, some of the things that are getting thrown around on YouTube with that, it's horrible.
It is. YouTube is.
And YouTube can be a good force for good. It honestly can.
It can. It can. But it's.
That's why I won't ever have my own channel. I'm just going to stick to my podcast. And if I want to go on and talk about something, I'll just keep coming to your channel.
That's fine.
I'll
Um,
just, I'll just keep coming to yours because one, I think you're really nice, and two, I trust your channel.
I'm gonna shut
And
these
there's other
doors.
channels I trust too as well. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I do have my favorites. I mean, that I watch.
I had to shut my door because of my bird. Yeah,
Oh,
well, this was Mrs. T. By the way, thank you all for coming, and I'm assuming Tabby told y'all to come over here. Um, I watched Tabby. Um, Poor thing, she's been dealing with a lot. It was on mental illness. We kind of um, went off track a little bit.
sorry about that.
So
I just didn't
yeah,
want it to be all about that because that can be depressing sometimes in and of itself.
yeah. Shanda was just telling us about her trip to Delphi, so then we kind of led into that. I don't know how Mel always says all roads lead back to Delphi. Somehow, always, almost
Yeah.
always, when we.
The only reason it did is because I went there by myself.
Well, no, I'm just saying, somehow, all the time, though, when we're talking, no
Oh
matter
yeah, it
what we're
goes back
talking
to
about,
there.
we do a lot of the time end up talking about Delphi. But Mrs. T says um, that she's from Indiana and she used to work in Delphi. Oh yeah, Grandma, I my Hashi, it just comes and goes when it feels like it. I woke up this morning feeling like crap. I had the chills and I couldn't
Oh
even,
no.
I thought, oh my, I didn't even make it to my grandson's game. But
Oh no.
he spent the
If
week.
you ever don't feel good, like tell me.
Well, he
And
stayed.
you can say I don't feel good and reschedule. I
He's
mean,
he stayed
I'm
with
not the
his.
type of person that
Well, I know,
doesn't care.
I know that, but he stayed with his papaw this weekend again because he went to the homecoming game last night, um, and then he's going to the homecoming dance. Did I say tonight or last night? Last night he went to the homecoming game. Tonight he's going to the dance, and
Nice.
but he had a game this morning, and I mean I could not even. And I felt so bad, but he's such a sweetheart. He says, "Oh my gosh, Grandma, I'm sorry you don't feel bad or you don't feel good, but I'm gonna win for you." And they did. They won.
Oh,
They've only lost 2 games. Um, so yeah, I'm so proud of him. His grades are very, very good, and I know you guys hear me brag on him all the time, so I won't do
oh
so
yeah.
tonight.
No, no, it's nice.
But
That just means you're a good grandma.
but I didn't know for sure if I was going to be able to do this live. But I just slept a lot today, and that's why I said when I started, I'm just going to wing this. But we're
Like
doing
I said,
okay.
if you ever don't feel good, just say, "Hey, don't feel good." I completely understand.
Yes, they are, Grandma Sherry. They are grieving, and they do deserve um, uh, compassion,
Oh
and
yeah.
they do not
There,
deserve what they're getting. I'll tell you that.
there needs to be more compassion and more empathy from people.
But I'm seeing this in every case that comes, every new case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Debbie Collier case, which I cannot wrap my head around that one at all. Which, and of course it does. I know how it looks, but I'm not gonna, use my platform to say anything, you know, unless Ellie would say it first. That's just how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
over here. I don't accuse family without evidence from law enforcement. But
Yeah, I don't either. And what people don't realize, and if they use common sense, they start with the family first.
Yes, law enforcement does.
Then they branch out from the family. Then they branch out even more from there. So they start out with the family first. And don't think that they don't, because that's how they work.
Yes, I mean, they have to first. And Grandma Sherry says, I love you, Shanda. You have such a pure, sweet heart. She does.
Thank you.
She does, Grandma Sherry. And Layla, yes, it is a crazy case. I can't, but I mean, it is something else. I can't even wrap my head around it. I'm watching it when I can, and I don't know if any of you here watch Navalius True Crime, Navi, um, but he's back. Remember a few lives ago, we were Grandma Sherry and I. Well, she alerted me. We were really concerned about him. Um, he's back. Uh, he does a great job. Um, but no, I'm just saying with every single new case that comes out, you know, people attack, and this Kylie Rodney case is just, that's what I was talking about earlier. They are just running that case to the ground.
Yeah, they go and attack the victims' families.
And yeah, they're attacking the mom because
And I'm thinking, okay, what would you do in that situation? Would you not possibly act the same? You don't know what you would do in that situation.
nobody knows how you would act, you know? You don't know how you would act in that situation. You think you would know. You think you know what you would do, you know? Like people blaming Becky for letting the girls go out to the bridge. Well, there's nothing to do in Carroll County. That's what kids do.
There's nothing in there to do. I've been there twice. There is nothing for the kids to do.
And I was talking to, well, I think it was Trish, and I was telling her, there's nothing for kids to do in Lafayette. That big old city, there's nothing for kids to do except get in trouble.
And I've been to Lafayette. No, there's nothing for them.
We had 2 skating rinks. Okay, and this has been years ago. They tore the best one down.
That's sad.
And that was Aqua. Then they had another one. They made it into a bar. I mean, that burnt my biscuits. Now they've got another one, but it doesn't operate like most skating rinks do. Um, there's they just don't have, you know, nothing to do, and I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna go to the Bible, and people might get upset at me for quoting this.
Nope, not on my channel.
But ye without sin cast the first stone.
Amen. Nope, not on my channel. Everybody knows I'm a Christian and I have a lot of believers. Thank you, Angie. And I have a lot of believers on my channel. I don't push it on people,
I don't either. It's not for me to push on people but I don't hesitate to tell people that I'm praying for them.
I tell everybody I pray for them. I even tell my friends that don't believe that I pray for them. Because I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do pray, Heather Murray says, I do. Yes, he is, Heather.
I mean, I respect Gonzo. I don't know him very well, but when I see his name, it reminds me of Gonzo off the Muppets.
Off the what?
Off the Muppets.
Oh,
Gonzo off the Muppets.
oh.
And I mean no disrespect to Gonzo at all. But when I saw his name, it just reminded me of Gonzo off the Muppets.
He's a pretty handsome guy too, isn't he? I mean, I'm just throwing that in there. I don't mean anything by that. I'm married, y'all.
Well, let's say you said that Gonzo is handsome. Then there's another true crime creator that has a soothing voice. So
It doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm married. I don't mean anything by that.
no, I don't. I mean, I don't either. I didn't mean anything by what I said. The one has a sexy, soothing, true crime voice.
He's also very talented too. Gonzo is. He's very, very talented. Very. I mean, gets out there and does all those, in my opinion, scary things. Golly, I'd never try those things.
Mm-hmm.
Cher, you gotta wait on you. I'm always waiting on my grandson. I'll tell you, he makes us late for church and everything. Well, almost. I hope I can go tomorrow. I hope I don't wake up feeling the same way tomorrow.
I hope you feel better for tomorrow.
A few weekends ago, I slept the whole entire weekend.
Oh wow! Does the weather play a part in it? Because I don't know that much about.
Well, the first time when I found out I had Hashis, it it was I missed church and everything the entire winter and into spring. I'm not lying when I say this. I slept, I bet, 16 to 18 hours a day. I just could not get out of bed. And sometimes it felt like, you know how, and I know people don't like hearing you talk about this stuff on YouTube, but you asked. So, but you know how when you get out of surgery and you're in recovery and you fade in and out?
Yeah.
I felt like that sometimes. I haven't felt like that this
and
time.
That's one thing. That's one thing with depression too. With depression, you tend to want to sleep a lot because when you sleep, you can't think. You don't think about stuff.
Well, there's Otto. How you doing, buddy? So, yeah. But I don't know. I know your last podcast made me cry.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make people cry.
But that's okay. Crying's good.
Yeah.
Crying.
Yeah, it is.
Crying's good for us. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys. Now what? Let's see. What case was it that I was watching that just came out? Oh, that other case. Lyric and Devon. You see how that's going a little way? And how she's kind of getting more attention than he is. She's white, he's black. And then some rumors. Um, I saw some. I can't remember what channel I was watching that on, but they said some rumors were that he may have even been involved. It's like, okay, he got killed too. Um, but I have, but I had kind of a theory on that. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I just thought, well, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? You know, because she's getting all the attention, and of course, you know, she's white, he's black. And, we just see so much of that in true crime, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I
To
want to,
me, I think every case is valuable and every case needs to be heard.
yeah. But what
And
made,
I think every case deserves some type of justice.
but what made me think of that is there's this, my mom found this because she likes true crime too. So she watches stuff on TV. Um, and it's called True Crime Story. I can't remember what channel it's on. Um, and there was a case. This guy and this girl were married, and he was black and she was white, and it was a small rural town. And her dad was a pastor, and of course, he didn't feel comfortable around her family. He didn't feel like her dad approved of, them being together because he was black.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but there was custody issues, and when he would show up a lot, she would not be there. And so this one weekend, he's like, he called his mom and dad and told them she's not here again, but I'm going to wait. So he waited, and they got back. Well, her house was like across the lot from her dad's. And he waited on the front porch and everything. And he called his dad and told his dad that her dad was being, really rough with him and cussing him out and all this. And this is a pastor, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, so his dad said, well, I'm coming over there. When his dad got there, his son had been shot.
Oh, my.
5 times, I think, in the back. And that pastor told the police it was in self defense.
Um,
And they closed the case. And they're still fighting for justice for their son.
Seriously, I'm sorry, but I call BS on that.
Exactly.
Because that's not self-defense when somebody's back is turned towards you.
Exactly.
And I don't care if you're what color you are. If your back is to somebody and they shoot you, that is not self-defense. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's self-defense.
Nope. But it was, like I said, he was a pastor. He was a big, prominent man in the county. And it was a small rural town. And this guy, they were the only black family. And it's just.
Like I said before, it's all in a name. I've said it to people before. If I were ever to go missing or something would happen to me, nobody would look for me besides my family. Because I come from a middle class family that doesn't have any money. I don't have the right name. And I wouldn't be looked for. If you come from money, you're more than likely, it seems that your case gets picked up really fast. But if you don't come from money or the type of background you come from, or if you were raised in a middle class family, that it doesn't matter.
Well, you saw how fast they got that. I mean, I don't know because I thought I saw later on they already had his DNA, so maybe that, but I don't know. Because in the beginning, Eliza Fletcher, how fast they got that DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad, I'm happy, you know, they got him off the streets and everything, and the case was solved pretty fast. But look at all these families that wait so long.
Mm-hmm.
you know I mean, Carly, I can't think of the name.
I mean, I think a lot of it too is law enforcement is short staffed.
She's still waiting. That family, Carly, is it Carly Carmack or a man? Oh, I can't get it right, but I know who I'm thinking of. I,
Then you want people out there that want to defund the police. Well, if you defund the police, it's going to make it a whole lot worse for cases to get solved.
yes, yep,
I
yep,
mean, I think every police department needs to have a cold case unit.
true, very true.
Whether they hire more people or they hire civilians off the street to look into it.
And they need to pay their officers enough.
Yeah.
I just want to say this, and this is a fact. I just know this about my county. Our sheriff's department deputies make 37,000 a year.
That's all they make.
The Delphi Police Department makes 45,000.
Oh,
Flora
geez.
Flora Police Department makes 54,000.
Why
So
is there such a skew in the differences of how much they make?
So people,
and they're in the state of Indiana. It doesn't make any sense.
So people wonder why the sheriff's department is understaffed and why they can't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They can't. Nobody's going wants to work for that, and
No.
that's the and they have jurisdiction over the entire county. So, in my opinion, they should make more.
Yeah.
But and I
That's
will.
sad. Your police department only makes
37.
37,000. I make 34,000 a year.
The county.
So they don't make that much more than me, and I'm just like in housekeeping.
And I will bet, and I don't know this for fact, so I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna. This is just my in Lafayette, my hometown. I'll bet you I know that mayor, and I know how he rolls. So
there's always politics and everything, it seems.
Yeah, I hate politics.
And
I mean, I really do.
I'm not talking like politics as in government politics. Because there's different types. There's government politics, and then there's other politics that play a part into it too.
Right. Grandma Sherry says, "We'll look for you, Shanda." Heather Marie says, "I'm mixed. My father, black, wanted to name me Heather for a reason. Sad reality." Well, Heather's a pretty name. My cousin's name is Heather. Well, are we ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. I still need to eat.
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to go to bed in about 45 minutes, maybe sooner.
Oh, I hope you sleep all the night.
But you can ask my followers that have been here since day one. I used to be a night owl. That's when my husband worked a different shift and my grandson didn't live with me.
Mm-hmm.
But That's why
Well, I
it's so
appreciate
hard for
you
me.
having me on, and I appreciate people listening.
Well, thank you for coming on.
And I hope maybe that I might have helped somebody or at least got people to think.
Yep.
And if anybody ever needs somebody to talk to, they can reach out to me. People know where to find me.
Everybody's saying thank you, Shanda.
You're welcome.
Another missing 17-year-old in Georgia. I tell you, that's so sad. I mean,
Oh, wow.
every day. Well, actually, a child goes missing like every so many minutes in the United States. So
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
it is. And it's so sad. So, okay, Shanda. Well, thank you so much. I love you, girl.
Love you too. Thank you guys, and thank all of you for listening, and thank you for the ones that stopped by the chat. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, you have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. But that's why I can't. It's so hard for me to do lives now, and I have to do them early. And PJ and she messaged me. She gave me her schedule. So I just have to figure out the time on those days. Um, so we'll be getting together. Um, but I want to thank you all for coming. I think we had a pretty good chat. I hope you all enjoyed. But thank you so much for coming. And hopefully PJ and I can get something together this week. Um, and hopefully I'll see you guys. Okay. Have a great rest of your night and rest of the weekend. I love you very much too, Nico. So, you guys have a great night. Okay. I might see you around. Is Tabby still here or did she take off? I wanted to know when she was. Well, if she's still here, Tabby, I'm praying for you. I hope things get better for you, girl. So, everyone have a good night. I love y'all and God bless. Okie dokie. Bye bye.